I think there's certain characteristics of runners that really are compatible with the characteristics of kids with autism. Runners are a very idiosyncratic group of people, a lot of OCD and quirky behavior, and I thought that that would be a good match for kids with autism. What I liked about running, and still like about running, is it really is a lifelong habit and a lifelong part of who you are as a person, and something you can do with people your own age, younger, older, men and women. We know that it takes a long time to teach kids with autism certain skills. So if we're going to make that investment in teaching certain skills, we want to make sure that it goes towards a lifelong habit or activity. So I thought running would be a good match.
I met Randy Horowitz when my son Jason was diagnosed at 20 months old. I really had a hard time finding experts in the field that could support me and help me figure out how to better assess his skill deficits and how to help him. And at the time, my father was working in the garment center, and one of his good friends in the business had a daughter who was working in autism-specific programming, and he connected Randy and I to have a conversation about how she could potentially help my son. And I'll never forget that day that she walked through the door and she saw Jason. She had a huge smile on her face. And after spending an hour or so with him and myself, she turned to me and said, he's gonna be okay, he's gonna be great, and gave me direction and gave me some really good ideas and told me to focus on making sure that he's enjoying what he's doing and keep him involved in activities that he enjoys, and to focus on applied behavior analysis and teaching him language. And I will never forget the level of support that she gave me for him.
She decided at a rather young age, I think in her teens, that she wanted to do something to help people. She came to me once, she may not remember this, but I do. She said, "Mom, I want to do something. It's not always about money," she said. I just want to do something good, something to help people.
I met Randy when my son Trevor was 2 years old. She was an out-of-classroom teacher at the Rosemary Kennedy Center where he went to school. So right now Trevor, he's 21 years old and he goes to SUNY Old Westbury, and he's in a program to become a special ed teacher, and he's in his 3rd year and he's on the dean's list. And I have a lot to thank Randy for, because she really helped me in the beginning get him on track.
Trying to figure out how kids learn and different instructional strategies that meet their needs is, a challenging that's very exciting. And no two kids are the same. So being able to just individualize teaching procedures and instructional strategies for kids is motivating as a teacher. And I think what I kind of like about it is the kids that I started working with 18 years ago are still the young adults that I'm involved with now. So the whole idea of being part of kids' lives throughout their educational career is something that's really motivating for me.
Yeah, so Randy's been working here for Eden Programs and Genesis for 17 years now. And when she first started, she came, to be the director at Genesis, the educational director, and she stayed in that position for quite a while, and then she moved to Staten Island.
She kind of came out to Staten Island to be a fixer, so to speak, because the educational program was growing very quickly, and it was kind of getting away from the directors because it was such rapid growth. So when she came out, she actually organized things, hired some key people, trained them, made sure the quality of services did not decline, as the quantity of students increased.
And then she came back to Long Island really full-time pretty recently, although she's always been a part of the Long Island programs. She came back sort of full force and full-time.
She kind of does everything. She's, she's the director here in Long Island, and she's helped me with the residential part, with the school part. She's involved in every aspect here.
One thing about Randy is she looks at the whole picture. So not only is she concerned with the kids from an educational standpoint on a daily basis, but she makes sure that they have a lot of things that typical kids have.
So through the years, Randy has been really instrumental in starting a whole bunch of different sort of recreational and social kinds of opportunities for the students.
So she brought into, at Eden, she helped start a dance program for some of the students.
An acting program where the students put on plays.
The students have a soccer club.
Probably her favorite program would be the running program that she developed. She is an avid runner.
In the late 90s, I decided to start running, and I hated it at first.
She's a marathoner.
So New York City Marathon coming up November 2nd will be my 16th marathon.
So she's actually developed some of the young adults at Eden into marathoners. They run the Boston Marathon, the New York City Marathon, the Marine Corps Marathon, and she's been instrumental in helping those families teach those kids how to train, finding people to train them, and it's been a great outlet for those young children and young adults, and it's been great for the families as well.
Really, it was Randy. Randy was the one that said, hey, you know, maybe the boys would like to go running. They have so much energy, and she thought maybe we should check it out. So we did, and thankfully it was a dream come true.
I don't know whether I should thank her for getting us into running or be mad at her. But in a positive way, we've all, as a family, gotten into great physical shape from all of this. Thank you, Randy, for all you've done for us. Thank you.
Randy has, she definitely has a distinct personality. Randy is the person who you do notice, you know, when they enter the room, there's no doubt about it.
I would go so far as to say someone who is OCD. She makes sure that what she wants to do is going to get done.
Some of the things that drive me crazy is OCD. Don't make sure everything's in place.
We would kind of classify her in the category of a pain in the ass, because when we had something that the school had to accomplish, we knew she was not going to let go until it got done.
What I think probably stands out most about Randy to me is really just her perseverance.
You know, the one thing about Randy will tell you, that, as far as her perseverance in getting things done, that there is no traffic jam on the extra mile.
So I think we're in an exciting and challenging time now with the aging population of people with autism, and one of the things that I'm really interested in studying, and I'll be starting my dissertation research very soon, like in the next couple of days, is looking at the impact that exercise has on students with autism and their families and school systems. So I think just understanding how something as significant as exercise or running can play an important part in the lives of people with autism themselves, but also how families and school systems can support this type of activity, either as an intervention, as a hobby, as a recreation, as a leisure skill. So that's one of my personal areas of interest that I'll be pursuing.
I think that considering how much Randy does in the field of autism and how embedded it is in her life, it's kind of amazing to think that she didn't start doing this because, you know, she had, you know, a nephew with autism or a brother with autism or something like that, because the level of her dedication reflects a person who does have, you know, a close family member in the field.
She has been dedicated and has been selfless in her commitment to the families and the children in our program. And it's important, we feel it's really important for our teachers who've worked so hard with our families and our kids to be recognized.
She just wants to do her job, do it well, make a difference, and she's not into all the fuss. I don't know how well she'll take to this video.
There's nothing that Randy wouldn't do for you if you had just asked her.
Randy is 110% committed to the field, and I know that she would go above and beyond to help anybody who's in a crisis or needs some kind of help, and if she can't do it herself, she'll find people to do it.
Randy and I have known each other a long time, and I have to say, she's one of my best friends. And she's inspired me to do a lot of things that I probably wouldn't have done, both good and bad. And I'm really glad that someone, the school Elijah specifically, has taken and has looked at Randy and what she's done and decided to honor her, because she certainly deserves it. She's 100% dedicated to her craft, and I'm proud to call her my friend.
To have the patience and the heart to do all that, it's amazing. I want to be like Randy when I grow up.